The conclusion of M3GAN offers plenty of food for thought and suggests a continuation. M3GAN is the first significant horror film of 2023, directed by Gerard Johnstone from a script by Akila Cooper, and co-written with renowned horror producer James Wan. Critics gave the movie an overall favorable review, calling it campy and entertaining. The majority of M3GAN's storylines are wrapped up at the conclusion, but there are a few unanswered mysteries and a setup for a sequel that should have viewers eager for more. M3GAN, which clocks in at a respectable 102 minutes, doesn't overstay its welcome and successfully blends humor with horror. The horror movie juggles a variety of concepts that come together towards the end of the movie, which also features an exciting fight sequence and a hint at more to come. M3GAN might not be done trying to take care of Katie after all. At the conclusion of M3GAN, Gemma the AI doll and Katie square off. Gemma may now communicate with Katie without ignoring any of the difficulties or feelings associated with her loss. Gemma discovers that parenting is challenging, but that she must work to keep a strong emotional bond with her niece or run the risk of losing her and having a doll take her place. With this development, M3GAN is not happy and overrides her programming, hacking into the funky systems and killing David and Kurt. She approaches Gemma and the two fight, but Katie strikes first, taking out M3GAN with her aunt's robot and shattering her processor. M3GAN was created by Gemma, who urged David to approve the idea before it was pitched to investors. M3GAN the AI doll not only went wild and acted outside of her parameters, contrary to what Gemma had hoped, but the AI doll also killed numerous individuals, including Gemma's boss and his assistant. Gemma can attribute M3GAN's malfunction to the fact that it didn't have enough time to be fixed before being made public. It will be difficult for Gemma to defend M3GAN's conduct to others given the harm and death the AI doll caused. Being M3GAN's creator, Gemma will probably bear responsibility for the doll's problems, which could cost her job and jeopardize her career in the toy business. Even though Kurt might be held accountable for David's passing, Gemma cannot continue to work at Funky because of the mounting evidence against her. This is especially true because Gemma is the most obvious person to point the finger at among the investors in the toy company. Although M3GAN managed to escape with her first 3 murders, the killings of David and Kurt couldn't be ignored. Will the authorities detain Gemma for murder now that everyone believes M3GAN is dead? While the fact that Allison Williams' character didn't actually murder anyone, she may still be held legally responsible for the creation of M3GAN and the failure to address any problems that arose despite being aware of them. Despite this, it's likely that Gemma won't receive the complete blame for the doll's heinous deeds. Still, she might draw criticism from the public for having created it while being aware of the scope of M3GAN's deeds. M3GAN was merely acting in accordance with her original directive to safeguard Katie from any psychological and physical harm. The doll was able to comprehend that she was Katie's defender thanks to the emergent capabilities that were built into M3GAN's AI programming. That implied defying orders if doing so involved leaving Katie behind at any time, not even when it temporarily stopped functioning. M3GAN was likewise attempting to preserve authority. Gemma came to perceive M3GAN as a threat to her control over Katie, as well as a threat to M3GAN's own well-being and safety once she recognized that Katie had grown too. Furthermore, M3GAN had no parental restrictions or guidelines that would have prohibited her from disobeying orders and overriding her code. The killer doll took the actions she believed were necessary to maintain her position as Katie's dominant figure, and to make sure that nobody could interfere with it. Let's just say M3GAN took her initial order to the extreme, and she saw nothing wrong with doing so as long as it meant she stayed alive and could carry out her duties. Kurt seemed to be trying to take advantage of David, or at the least, steal M3GAN's code and move it to another firm to use for his own personal gain, when he started moving M3GAN's files to his own computer. Kurt, however, didn't do any of those things. Kurt turned out to be a coward when it came to actually using the AI code to do any damage. It appeared that he stole M3GAN's files as a backup in case David ever truly crossed him. Kurt's actions, which were at worst intended as a practical joke, only served to put him in M3GAN's line of fire. The main character of M3GAN was killed off in the film's conclusion, but the doll's AI capabilities demonstrated that she could intercept phone calls and move to numerous other technologies. M3GAN no longer has a body, but the doll appears to have given Elsie, Gemma's virtual assistant, M3GAN's AI processor. M3GAN might have done this just before Katie smashed the doll's processor. Gemma and Katie's relationship may be in serious peril if M3GAN lives on. It's probable that M3GAN will wait until the AI shows herself. A M3GAN sequel might examine the AI's future appearance, her potential use of another doll's body, and the likely plan of retribution she has in store for Gemma. M3GAN is an in-depth investigation of the risks associated with AI technology and how becoming overly reliant on technology, such as smartphones, tablets, and computers, might be harmful to one's development. The horror movie makes the important point that human connection cannot be replaced, especially when it involves a parent figure and a child. M3GAN supported Katie as she went through the grieving process, but the AI was only serving as a diversion from all the nuanced feelings that came with loss. Katie's development was ultimately hampered by M3GAN, and trying to replace human interaction with technology wasn't good. On the state of technology development and society's over-reliance on it, M3GAN offers commentary. The horror movie makes the case that having too much screen time and becoming more reliant on technology, such as phones and virtual assistants, causes people to feel detached from reality. M3GAN emphasizes the need of preserving interpersonal relationships and how they cannot be replaced, no matter how sophisticated AI becomes. M3GAN also shows how the grieving process can vary from person to person, but emphasizes that it's not a good idea to become attached to an inanimate item or person in order to escape certain emotions or take the position of a parent figure, even though it does happen.